How does my hair look? All right. Right, let's have it.
The first funerals being held for the students and staff who were killed in that strike on the school in southern Iran.
We were originally supposed to go into North Halifax and Crostham Heath, but there was an issue with some vandalism at Halifax, so we had to pivot plans and we went from going up north to going out east.
I heard Sheringham's great. Sheringham's well ranked, well regarded. You sort of thought, yeah, do you know what? If Sheringham, we can probably then find 2 other courses to play. Now, I really wanted to play Great Yarmouth Caister for a while. And Flempton was a 9-holder that I think Martin Ebert put us onto about 3 or 4 years ago and said it was great as well. So, you know, kind of going into it thinking there's 3 really different courses, but they're actually kind of similar as well. They all hark back to a Victorian age of design. I think Sheringham's a Tom Dunn course out of North Berwick, as is Great Yarmouth Caister. Clearly the Dunns had a good run down the east coast. And Flempton is J.H. Taylor, again Victorian design. So whilst that have changed a lot in the last 120 years, it was like there's a little bit of crossover as well.
We went to Brancaster maybe a year ago, and people had said, you know, you missed out on places like Cromer, and missed out on Sheringham, and missed out on Great Yarmouth, and I knew nothing about any of the places that we'd been or were going to. Sam said they were worth going to. I assumed they were all going to be links. Only one of them was a links in the end. Sheringham was really interesting. It's a cliff top course that you drive in. It's a huge property. You've got a big old driving range on the right. You come in, you see the big clubhouse, and you've got the land is very macro big. It's big undulations up, big undulations down, big sweeping left, right, lots of gorse.
You sort of know you're close to the coast when you drive in, but you don't get huge views. Those come after about 2 or 3 holes, and then you play most of the course with some of the most incredible backdrops that you can get, really. It's cool. First tee shot, you get there and you think, oh, you can hit this first tee shot anywhere, just relax. Which is always a nice feeling to ease into your round. And then you realise you've got this little tricky wedge shot into a green with an absolute no miss, gorse long and right, death short left, so great.
The big dramatic vistas, you get up onto 4 and you can just see all of the world from the top of the 4th green. Then you've got 5, which is plunging down, 6 plunges down, and you've got to work your way back up. And
5 is a contender really for one of the best holes in, you know, in England really. It's got to be. I mean, just solely on a view. I mean, it's nature gives you the hole really. You just put the pin at the other end of the cliff, so it's super sort of easy to build on and design. It's like built in, but that backdrop, you've got this sort of, the land rises and drops, quite sort of pronounced rises and drops that are fairly gradual. So when you play towards that green and you just see this sheer drop behind the cliff and the sort of haze that's dropping in behind the green, it's spectacular.
8 was a cracking little par 3 that you kind of get to the furthest part of the property and turn back. And then you kind of work your way back and you meander through, and you've got some belters on the back 9, and then 17, the infamous 17th, where Joyce Wethered gave the quote, "What train?"
So the history of Joyce Wethered at Sheringham's great. It's a really good story. So Joyce Wethered won 5 back-to-back English Women's Amateur Championships starting in 1920 at Sheringham. She was playing against Cecilia Leach, famous player from Sillerthorne Solway, and I think she was 6 down at some point in the match. This would have been a 36-hole amateur final. And she gets to the 17th in the afternoon round to close out the game and win 2 and 1 presumably. And she holds this 10-footer, and you've got this steam train and it's kind of part of the hole that runs alongside the right. And Caddy says as she picks up the ball out the holes, "Did you not hear, you know, did the train not put you off?" And she says, "What train?" Which I think is amazing when you know the proximity of the train line. So not surprisingly, the club have named the hole "What Train" as a result.
In Yarmouth Town, I was expecting, you know, penny slots. I was expecting to go along the pier, licking 99 ice creams. It was really foggy. It was a bit like a scene from Silent Hill, actually, but
Come on, we'll try one in the mermaid. It's all right.
Cheers, bud.
Chico's could do one.
Would I stay in Great Yarmouth again? There's a question mark on that for me. I'd stay in Great Yarmouth if we're in season and the slot machines were open and the sort of the joyous holiday town that I'm sure it can be in the summer, but in the first week of March it was a little dark.
Yeah, first good sunrise of the trip. First good sunrise of 2026. We woke up with a bit of a belting sunrise at Yarmouth, and we drove along the coast there up to the course. And I'd been told by Sam that it sits inside this racetrack, and the only time I've seen that before is the Musselburgh Old Links, which is a quite small course that sits inside the racetrack and is, beholden to what the racetrack does, I suppose. So I suppose I was expecting something similar. And then you drive along the road, you come in, we turn right, we came through, and then you see some stuff on your right. You think maybe that's a driving range, or then you cross the racetrack, and you got you can see up and down the gallops, and see the big stand for the racetrack up in the distance on the right. And I was expecting, it's not right on the coast, there's a caravan park between you and the coastline, and I was expecting it to be relatively flat, if I'm honest. And the undulations in the ground, like immediately you could tell, were just like, yeah, this is gonna be good fun.
I was so nervous going to Great Yarmouth and Caister because I felt like I'd heard something about the golf course like 3 years ago or whatever from Sam Cooper. We did a pod wrapping up his tale of all his links courses in Great Britain, and I thought this would just be an obscure course he's picked for obscure's sake.
That sort of East Coast has there's quite a few bunkers where they have sleepers. You don't see in generally in many other parts of the country, and I think they're really cool, And Great Yarmouth and Caister has some really cool ones. It's got some beautiful undulating land. Don't have big budgets, don't expect Augusta greens or fairways that look like you could put on them. But if you are ever in that part of the world, I absolutely recommend you go and play that.
It's not really been that well covered. So I was a little bit nervous getting there. I knew it sat within a racecourse in some capacity, and I knew it would be a little bit quirky.
Right, should we go and get playing golf?
I hadn't expected for a second for the quality to be so high. Not in terms of, the course was in exceptionally good condition, but the quality of the golf holes and the questions they ask is phenomenal. It's quirk, but it's quality. It's different to any other course you've played, but the quality of the holes is absolutely sensational.
Don't judge a book by its cover. It's not something you might have heard of before. It's certainly a course that we played, and I was smacked in the face by it, really, because I wasn't expecting much. And the first hole, we didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea where we were going, but we knew the tee box pointed in this direction, and we thought we must have to go there. And then we teed off and found the fairway, and you have to tee off over the racetrack as your tee ball, and you get down there, and you're like, right, across the racetrack, get down there. And then we're looking for the green, and we quickly realised again it's over the racetrack, so you have to hit over the racetrack on your approach to a green that's barely 10 yards past the racetrack, and you've got to pitch it over the railings of the racetrack and get it to stop. It's a crazy first hole.
Crazy first.
Pure magic. I think it's the oldest club in Norfolk. I think it was originally Great Yarmouth and then became Great Yarmouth and Caister, or vice versa. You're somewhere special when you're poking something from outside a racecourse into a racecourse to then try and figure out where the green is. And then we realised, the second shot is then from inside the racecourse back out of the racecourse onto a green. It's bonkers. But then you play so many holes that are great, just brilliant green sites, the shapes that, because it's not been touched that much, you've still got that Victorian feel to things, cross hazards, sleeper face bunkers. Back in the day, 100 years ago, really burly golf shots with hickory clubs, it would have been an absolute brute. I think the ground is great. Agronomically, it's, yeah, we caught up with the course manager when we were out there because we were so early.
Very, what should we say? People either love it or hate it.
What was that to dislike though, you know?
Well, I think a lot of it is because we haven't got a huge amount of water around here. So in the summer, we get very dry. We concentrate on tees and greens. So fairways are...
Last summer when it got parched.
Yeah, they do. They finish the colour of your job.
Firm and fast is not what you think of when you think of horse racing as well, and it's sharing land constantly in close proximity to the horse racing course. The par threes are of just a different quantum. You know, 12 and 14 come at you, and they are both of them amazing. The 7th is also an exceptionally good par three. I think the par threes were really good. I think it's just more than anything, it's just a voyage of discovery though, that whole thing with the first tee, you know, the fact you just trying to work out, like we were on our way around going, where are we going to go next? You know, it just felt like a whole voyage of discovery of the golf course. It was just class.
I mean, you got to start with one because it's mental, and it's a smack in the face of what you're about to go through. Crossing the racetrack twice, and then you come back 4 long par 4 with crossing these sort of Victorian sleeper face penal hazards, and you long shot into the green, great par 4, and then you carry on, play to the far corner. You've got a great little par 3, 7th, where you get these cryptic signs that don't make any sense at all if you've not played it before, but as soon as you've played it, they make sense.
But then it says, do not tee off until the group in front have passed the red triangle, which is about 40 or 50 yards directly left.
The wonderful 7th hole. It'll be known for its 11th hole, where you have a long drive and then the green's just tucked in on the left. And then 14, a glorious little short par 3, which again is over sleeper face bunkers. It only plays about 150 yards into a punch bowl green that you can kind of run it in from different sides.
We've caught up with Tim Starbuck, club's general manager. He was told us about the bogey stuff. That's cool.
But the history of the bogey is that you obviously play against the course in a bogey.
Yeah.
And it got the name because the Caister was the oldest golf club in Norfolk and about the 6th oldest in the country. And because it's a seaside, they used to have music on. And somebody just said, here comes the bogey man. And that's kind of how it stuck. So that's how bogey golf got its name. Two or three bogey big cups that we play for, you know, in a year. There's Jack Chase Cup, the Young Cup. These are old trophies dating back.
That's great.
God was a boy like, yeah. When you finish, you're either 6 up or whatever. The machines, they use these
it's good.
things to work out bogey stuff. But that's how they do it.
Oh, great.
So yeah, 2 or 3 a year. But if you're a good golfer, I mean, it's a bit daft format because a birdie's no good to you, is it? You know,
it's good. It's good format. It's exactly what we used to be, wasn't it? It's just perfect the way it is. It's a proper sort of like, it's a local golf club, the locals playing there, and we just came off beaming from ear to ear and just absolutely loved every second of it out there, and it's a special place.
I think Flempton was on our way back, so it's really helpful. It sits in Cambridgeshire. It's not a million miles away from Royal Worlington and Newmarket. They're both 9 holes. They're both wonderful layouts, and they're both fairly close. So I think inherently they have a bit of a scrap over which one's the best 9-holer in A, Cambridgeshire, but B, the world.
Flempton is a 9-holer that Martin Ebert put us onto, and I adore Royal Worlington. You know, again, a Victorian design, cross hazards, big sort of features that you've got to carry, and a brilliant layout. And Cambridge clearly does 9-holers really well, because Flempton and Royal Worlington are not the only 9-hole courses with history and pedigree in that area, but I was going there expecting to see somewhere that was quite well bunkered, and I'd heard about the clover leaves.
The course itself is kind of laid out in 3 loops of 3, and they say they did that because of the doctors, and if they were ever on call, they'd hoist a flag up, and the doctors would know that someone was needed in the days prior to mobile phone. But they were never more than, you know, one or 2 holes away from the house. So yeah, 3 loops of 3. And you'd think with this 3 loops of 3 setup that they've got, where the 3rd hole comes back to the house, the 6th hole comes back to the house, and the 9th hole comes back to the house, you would think that it would have to be fairly mundane in its in its structure, like maybe par 4, par 3, par 5 to get you back or whatever, but it's really quite varied. It's amazing what they've managed to do and fit that all into that, what is a tiny footprint really of land.
But it's just so quaint. Like if you picture the most quaint English golf club, you have just imagined Flempton. It's littered with bunkers. So again, the story goes, whether there's any truth in it, that the foreman who built the golf course was basically paid for the bunkering that he did on a pro rata basis, and therefore he was just filling his boots by building as many bunkers as he could. It explains why the bunkers are both, a lot of the time, really small and dainty, but also in just some of the most wacky places, either 40 or 50 yards away from a green site or 30 yards forward off a tee box. A lot of them are not really in play, but it provides this aesthetic to the golf course, which is really unique. I quite liked it.
The third hole, lovely long hole back to the house. You need to really kind of get a really good drive away and a good approach. Par 5. You know, it's gettable if you hit two good shots, but yeah, really lovely hole that brings you back to the clubhouse. And then you've got 5th, which is a fabulous little downhill par 3, only a cutie again, just plays into the corner. One of only the 2 par 3s on the layout. And we've got a stream which cuts across the middle, and then
you've got to have 7, like sevens right up there, like just exhilarating. Long iron to the top of the hill and a dainty wedge downhill into this bathtub green, like just pure magic. Really liked 3. I mean, I liked all of it. It's all just Flempton is a better album than it is, hits and singles, but it all just sort of comes together beautifully. 8 up the hill with this kind of theatrical mounding in the right, and there's bunkers again everywhere, and a cool green to play into was like a nice sort of penultimate golf hole. But the 9th, which plays as this sort of medium, I suppose kind of long par 3 downhill to a green that races away from front left to back right, it's that last little bit of theatre in any match that you've got going on. You've always got a chance. Anyone can sort of scamper the ball up close to the pin. It's a really cool closing hole. And it's nice, it's the first time I've ever seen a sight screen on a tee box. The fact that, because that would be the 9th and the 18th, so if you're on the first tee, you've got to look back to the 9th and see, is anyone going to come through here, because it's a par 3 and I've got to give them courtesy. So the sight screen's there so you can look back at the trees and pick out figures. It's so good. Everything in the clubhouse is all just sort of, it's just so, it's this, all these little drippings of history, all just nonchalantly popped up against the walls and stuff, and it's just got such a nice, quaint feeling to it. I think with Flempton, there's like gears it could go through. It could go, you could do little bits of restoration there that would even amplify some of those features even more, but it's such a great fun golf course.
Do people ask about trips and where to go? I would say that East Coast is actually one of the most underrated.
Northwest is obviously decorated with big names. Kent Coast, the Surreys, it needs no introduction. I think you can still get amazingly good golf out there for not actually that much money. Sheringham, Cromer, Brancaster, Hunstanton, quite big name courses. But the fact that we just stumbled on Great Yarmouth and Caister and Flempton and there's places like Royal Worlington, and there's so many more. If we couldn't have played any of those, we'd have been able to fill them again. It's the driest part in the country. It's got a reputation for being flat. I don't think we played a single flat golf hole really, all tour. Yeah, I love it. Would go in a heartbeat.
what doesn't turn?
Cheers, mate. Good fun trip that.
A lot of fun.